My siblings excluded me from their weddings, so I made a decision they'll never forget. Hey Reddit. Growing up, I always felt like the black sheep of the family. I was the middle child, sandwiched between two golden siblings who could do no wrong in my parents' eyes. My older brother, Ryan, was the golden boy, straight as, football star, and later, the family success story with a high-paying job and picture-perfect life. My younger sister, Lily, was the princess, charming, talented, and the darling of the family. Meanwhile, I was just me. I wasn't particularly gifted, nor did I have any achievements that stood out. Despite the lack of attention, I always tried my best to be a good sibling. I showed up for them, supported their dreams, and celebrated their milestones. That's why it hurt so much when Ryan announced his wedding plans and didn't include me in any meaningful way. No invite to the rehearsal dinner, no role in the wedding party, just a standard guest invitation like I was a distant cousin. When I confronted him, he brushed me off, saying, "It's not a big deal, and we had limited spots." But it was a big deal. Watching him give so much importance to his friends while treating me like an afterthought stung. I decided to let it go, thinking maybe things would be different when Lily's turn came around. Fast forward 2 years, and Lily announced her engagement. I was genuinely happy for her and even offered to help with wedding preparations. But as the months went by, I realized I wasn't being included in any plans. She didn't ask me to be a bridesmaid, nor did she even consult me on anything wedding related. When I finally asked her about it, she gave me a condescending smile and said, "Ryan's wife is my matron of honor, and I've already got enough bridesmaids." I wasn't even upset about not being in the wedding party, I just wanted to feel included. But once again, I was reduced to a guest at my own sibling's wedding. This time, I didn't bother confronting her. I simply attended the wedding, smiled for the pictures, and swallowed the growing resentment I felt toward both of them. Years passed, and our relationships remained superficial. We exchanged pleasantries at family gatherings, sent obligatory birthday messages, and kept things civil. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was always an outsider in my own family. Then, it was my turn to get married. My fiancée, Emma, was my rock throughout everything. She encouraged me to take charge of my life and stop living in the shadows of my siblings. When we started planning our wedding, she asked if I wanted to include Ryan and Lily in the ceremony. At first, I hesitated. Part of me wanted to take the high road and be the bigger person. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized how much their actions had hurt me over the years. They had excluded me from their most important moments without a second thought. Why should I bend over backward to include them in mine? I made my decision. Ryan and Lily wouldn't just be excluded from the wedding party, they wouldn't be invited at all. When I told Emma, she fully supported me. "This is your day," she said. "You should surround yourself with people who truly care about you." The fallout was immediate. My parents were furious when they found out. My mom called me selfish and petty, accusing me of tearing the family apart. My dad tried to guilt-trip me, saying, "They're your siblings. Family comes first." But where was that sentiment when they excluded me? I calmly explained my reasons, but they refused to see my side. Ryan and Lily eventually found out and, predictably, were outraged. Ryan called me childish, saying, "This is why we didn't include you, you always make everything about yourself." Lily, in her typical dramatic fashion, declared, "I can't believe you're doing this. You're ruining our family dynamic." Their words hurt, but I stood my ground. For once, I wasn't going to let their opinions dictate my decisions. Our wedding day was everything I'd ever dreamed of. Surrounded by close friends and the family members who genuinely cared about me, I finally felt the love and support I had been craving for years. Emma and I exchanged our vows in a small, intimate ceremony, and the absence of Ryan and Lily didn't bother me one bit. After the wedding, I thought the drama might settle down, but I was wrong. My parents refused to let it go, constantly bringing up how I had excluded my siblings and demanding I apologize. At first, I tried to explain myself again, but it became clear they weren't interested in understanding my perspective. One day, during yet another heated conversation, I finally snapped. I looked my parents in the eyes and said, "I've spent my entire life trying to be part of this family, only to be treated like an outsider. Ryan and Lily excluded me from their weddings without a second thought, and you didn't say a word. But the moment I set boundaries, suddenly I'm the villain? I'm done apologizing for putting myself first." The room went silent. My mom looked like she was about to argue, but my dad stopped her. For the first time, I saw a flicker of understanding in his eyes. Things didn't magically get better after that. My relationship with Ryan and Lily remained strained, and my parents still struggled to accept my decision. But I felt a sense of peace knowing I had finally stood up for myself. Years later, Ryan and Lily both had kids of their own. They started reaching out more, trying to mend fences for the sake of their children. While I was cautious, I decided to give them a chance. I wasn't ready to fully forgive them, but I also didn't want to hold on to the bitterness forever. In the end, my decision to exclude them wasn't about revenge, it was about reclaiming my self-worth. For the first time in my life, I stopped trying to earn their approval and focused on building a life filled with people who truly valued me. It was liberating to finally break free from the cycle of hurt and exclusion that had defined my relationship with my siblings. Ryan and Lily's attempts to reconnect were gradual and tentative, but I remained firm in setting boundaries. I made it clear that while I was open to rebuilding a relationship, it had to be on mutual respect and understanding, not guilt or obligation. Over time, they seemed to understand, and our interactions became more genuine, though the wounds of the past still lingered. As for my parents, they eventually stopped pressuring me to apologize and started reflecting on their role in the family dynamic. While our relationship will never be perfect, they've made small but meaningful efforts to treat me with more consideration. It's not everything I had hoped for, but it's a start. In the end, my story isn't about a happily ever after reunion, it's about finding my own happiness and refusing to settle for less. Sometimes, family isn't about the people you're born into, but the ones you choose to let into your life. And for me, that choice has made all the difference. So, was it the end? Maybe not. But for now, it feels like the beginning of something better. That's all for today's video, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for more exciting content. See you next time.